we're going to close right now with a little bit of time for your questions and answers from our cast and company. So, does anybody have a question? Raise your hand. Andres has a mic here. He's going to bring it to you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I heard you guys say a couple times something about the prison renaissance. Could you tell us more about that?
Can we hold on 1 second? 1 second.
1 minute. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt just 1 second.
Okay.
I need all our guests to know that you can't just walk out and leave. You need to be escorted just like you were coming in. So please don't feel like you can just leave. So please say right after the question and answer, we'll set up an organized system for going back out.
If you need to use the restroom, there's officers out there. You're welcome to go use the visitors restroom, which says volunteers, staff and volunteers. But we do have time for some Q&A. So Emil, could you please explain to us, what is the prison renaissance that a few of you guys have been talking about?
The prison renaissance.
Steve!
Muted. The prison renaissance is it's an idea. It's an idea that.
It's not working.
Hello? Okay, it works now. Prison renaissance is an idea that several incarcerated artists have come together and we kind of realize how art has changed the way we see ourselves. So we want to use art to also change the way the public sees us. Because there are a lot of negative stereotypes and images in media with nothing to answer them. So we would like to answer them with who we are and with our art.
Hello. Everybody knows me as Clown. This is for Lady J. You mentioned the suicides of transgenders, and I was wondering if there's the high rate of suicides, and I was wondering if there's statistics on that.
Well, in an article that was published in 2014, it had it was called The Tipping Point. It stated that in America, that the suicide rate amongst transgender children and people is higher than 65%. And speaking from experience, I know that when I was 16, I went through that same thing. It was like, nobody understood me, and this was in the 70s. Nobody understood me. I didn't have a word for what I was going through. And the church seemed like it was even against me. So I know a lot of those kids are feeling hopelessness, and there's no one to talk to. So with the piece that my brother Chris Marshall wrote, he was trying to convey that words do hurt. And a lot of times, these kids just need a hand to say, I understand. And if I don't understand what you're going through, maybe I can just sympathize or empathize with what you're going through and not be that one voice and say, you're not this, you're not that. So yeah, trans suicide rate is still very high. It's almost epidemic. But if you want to know a little bit more, 2014 Time issue, it goes in depth.
And I want to add, if you're transgender, you're twice as likely to be incarcerated.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that during the, you guys did a great job. Everybody did. And but the one person that impressed me the most, or had the biggest impact on me that I didn't think would, was V's performance. And I really liked it.
V, would you like to say anything about the performance?
Oh, I mean, I really want to get, okay. Well, this comes from very serious topics, and what's going on here is a real life situation. I'm coming in here to have the ability to work with Suraya and Marin, their company, to come into San Quentin and bring out stories, has had an impact on me because of all of you guys and ladies who come and bring these stories to be spoken and brought out. So Chris Marshall's words which were the words that I spoke, were inspiring to me. And so because they moved me, I was able to move others with those words.
That's right.
So I appreciate what you said, RC, and I just want to bring it right back to Chris. And I want to bring it back to all of you guys in here. And just to say it's been an honor to work with you all.
So, great performance. I wanted to...
Oh, what was the question again?
And please introduce yourself.
He does that.
I wanted to ask the question, what did you guys pull from, and gentlemen who do the dance, Antoine Banks, is that a new style dance? And Mr. Morris, when did you get started singing? And to the volunteers, what inspired you to come here and work?
So Julian, what Kat did is asking, what was the inspiration for these pieces, and what were the inspiration for the volunteers to come in here and be a part of this?
Yeah, my name is Banks, and that style of dance is contemporary. It is a style that I created. I am fascinated by contemporary dance. I am fascinated by modern dance, but I have a hip-hop background, and I want to fuse the both. And that piece is inspired by my relationship with my wife, the ups and downs to where we are today.
Chris, talk about where you got your hands spinning in circles.
What?
Talk about where you got your piece from. What inspired you to do that piece?
I wrote The Power of the Pronoun after spending a lot of time with Lady J and a former inmate named Tiara Aiken. Fortunately, they're no longer with us anymore.
Well, Jay is.
Jay is. But, and like I told Lady J as well, Tiara Aiken, when the leader of my church gets in front of the world and tells me, as well a billion other Catholics, that you have to go to the most disadvantaged people in society and assist them, that's what I have to do. So I spent a lot of time with Tiara as well, Lady J, and that's what we came up with, this piece. And it was real fun to do. It's extremely fun to do, and I thank you guys for performing so well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Remember the question, huh? What was the question again? To the dance. To the
Could you ask the question again, please?
Do the Richie.
You asked me how long I've been singing. I was probably singing in the womb. When I was 6 years old, they picked me out of my kindergarten class to stand up at Christmas and pantomime to Elvis Presley. 30 years later, my sister reminded me of this, and I froze. The song kept playing, but I wasn't moving. Singing to me is medicine. Music to me is medicine, just like art is medicine. And I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing people over the years. I've been down almost 31 years now. And it's by the grace of God that I've survived to do what I do this long. It's been a lot of rough turns, but I'm still going strong. The songs that I had the opportunity to sing today, I wrote. And I want to thank Suraya, and I want to thank Lesley for the opportunity to do that. Can we give them a hand, please? One final thing, I promise I'll get up the mic. Where is she? There he is, right there. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Right there. John, Christina, I couldn't look at them when they did the piece today. It would have broke me down like a Safeway chicken. I mean, all the way down. That would have been. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are great. You guys are great.
should be proud of yourselves today. I just got one question to no one in particular. How have this drama therapy done contribute to your life positively in your daily walks? Anybody can answer that.
Here, I'm here, young player.
That is a very inspiring question, Mr. Randall. Drama therapy has helped me to not only experience who I really am, but to experience who and how to deal with other people. Because this don't all just come on stage and we just poof overnight like that. This is months and months of training, months and months of garbage from all these people up here. But drama therapy helps us to cope, to deal, and to experience a lot of people who we wouldn't ordinarily get the chance to experience. So it opens us up to actually want to reach out to more people. Because ordinarily on a prison yard, you wouldn't see this motley crew kicking it all together, having all these handshakes, you know. So drama therapy is very special to me, and I use it every day in my life.
Hey, everybody. So drama therapy, I mean, for me personally, right, it's allowed me to kind of like step out my shell a little bit and become more of a people person. I didn't really like to be, you know, kind of like a hermit in a way. So, no, seriously, don't laugh at that. So you know, I really don't want to be around people, and then people tend to irritate me sometimes, right? But being able to like work in these kind of environments with different people and hear different stories, it's kind of like, you know, let me realize that all of us are the same, right? We're more alike than different, right? And so being able to recognize like some of my triggers, some of my faults and flaws, right? And then actually act them out. Not, you know, just, okay, this is what I don't like, you know, but actually want to create a character, put this in a character, or, you know, investigate why I feel this way and try to use this in a song or something like that, right? That kind of like helps me continue to be aware of what, you know, of the areas where I need to work on, right? And it also gives me a platform, right? In order to kind of like be silly and, you know, bring my issues to, you know, Shakespeare and, you know, kind of like just work them out. So, I mean, like for me, you know, drama theory is very important. And do not kick me out of this group. Sorry I was late.
What it has done for me, it allowed me to look at you guys and see that, okay, they're kind of goofy and they don't really know who I am. And it allowed me to expose myself to all these guys in a good way. Okay? It allowed me to show them who I am. I'm not just this transgender running around here, but I have feelings and emotions, and I'm a person. And that's what it allowed me to do, was to show them that I'm human.
Before this question, speaking of feelings, allowing us to feel, I respect what he says about being transgender, or she said about being transgender, as well as how other people feel. But the way I feel is I appreciate Lesley and Suraya, Steve and Rick, for allowing me, just a minute, to be able to interact with all of these women, which I love looking out in the audience and seeing. Really, I appreciate that. Thank you.
There's a lot of, you know, acting is about making choices. We talk about making acting choices, making strong acting choices, and when we play with this kind of drama therapy, we practice making choices. And that's why Maverick's piece was so great, getting people from the audience up on stage and asking you to make some choices, some acting choices in the moment. And obviously, some of the choices that men in prison need to learn how to make are how to act towards women. And it's great for them to have that practice. That was a great theme that we noticed today. Male-female relationships and how thorny they can be. Also a great theme from Shakespeare. Do we have a question right here?
Last question.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's actually a thank you. My name is Bucci, and I wrote Cookie for Hope, and I'd like to thank Suraya and Lesley and everybody. You guys taught me not to quit when I received some bad news, so I'd like to thank you for the support during this time, and I love you guys all, so thank you.
One more question quickly. Steve, do we get time for one more question? One last question. That was short.
Get a question to somebody from the street. All these people in the
Hold on, please. Steve wants a question from an outside guest.
Right here. You got two young ladies.
You are the lucky winner.
Come on down.
Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Lisa, and I love the show, and I thank you all for being so honest and open. And my question is, you know, it seems to me it takes a lot of courage to put yourselves out, you know, so much to the audience. And was that hard when you were coming up with your pieces? I mean, were you kind of worried about, like, saying some of the more controversial things?
Big ass. Probably don't need this. But hi, my name is Big Ass, and your question's a good question because in this environment, this world, we build up like this culture of distance from everybody. And the way that we do that is we use a lot of anger, a lot of violence, and a lot of means that normal society, they pretty much abandon. We go back to a caveman type world where it's like, if you cross me, I hammer your head. And for me, it was like, it's stepping out of the comfort zone. And there's a huge worry of like, how will I be judged by my peers? And how will they look at me? Because I have this persona or reputation amongst the men in prison. And they look at me one way, as a brutal, Viking type. I tell people I'm like the modern day urban Viking. Fortunately, the Marin Shakespeare Company and the program here has allowed me to find some of that humanity again. But there is, I don't know if it's a fear, it's like an anxiousness and anxiety of how will I be judged by my community in here for doing this? Because I still do it. You like see me, the lady over here, she had to say, go up there and dance. And I don't want to dance. People will laugh at me because I'm Big Ass. I'm the tattooed monster. If I dance, I'll lose some of that reputation. So there's this anxiety that comes with it. But, what? Watch it. Next I'll sing, and that's really scary. But, when you step out, I think that, like, the biggest, challenges in life, the best way to address them, it's an old surfer phrase, it's like, go big or go home. So just step outside the box. It's like, don't stick your toe in the water and see if the water's fine. Just dive in, and it'll be okay. You're going to come up and you're going to be like, you know what, the water, it really wasn't that bad, and now I'm enjoying myself. And I hope that answered your question. Okay, thank you.
Richard, I've sang that song 100 times, but when I was sitting here waiting for them to give me my cue to begin the song, I couldn't remember the words. And I had beads of sweat forming on my forehead. It's just an opportunity to just open up, like you said, And this is such a rare privilege to sit here in front of you and do what these women that come in here and put up with us inspire us to do.
Thank you.
So I give them all credit.
Steve, how much more time do we have? I see an outside guest standing up and waving her hand around.
themes I saw throughout the performance today was this idea of violence being intertwined with masculinity. And I would love to hear from you guys about what masculinity means to you now.
That's good. That's a good question.
Well, who hasn't spoken yet?
My name's Anand. Doing that piece with Emil wrote about this is a man's world, it's really about how we learn masculinity, right? Because that is something that is learned. And in that piece, he learned masculinity through violence, right? And for us, I feel like growing up in certain neighborhoods, certain cities, we have to prove ourselves. We have to have a certain image. So our definition of masculinity is kind of flawed. But today, how I view masculinity, and I mean this for real, like, it's being sensitive, it's being caring, loving, right? And all those tough definitions of masculinity don't exist anymore.
John wanted to say something. John, how do you meld? I mean, you are a strong, tough guy. How do you meld that with these sort of new qualities of being sensitive, being a listener, being somebody who works together with other people?
Well, first it comes being comfortable with oneself and understanding that it's not about what other people think or feel about me, but it's what I think and feel about myself. For so long, we've allowed other people, peer pressure was a big theme in here. We allow other people to define who we are. And it's not about that anymore. It's not about what people feel I am. It's about who I know I am. I'm tired of being someone else because everyone else is taken. Right? Everyone else is taken. It's time to be me now.
That's right.
And that's who I am. And that's what masculinity is to me. Being true to self. Standing in my own truth. Loving, caring, empathy, respect. All those things is what a man is to me. Love.
I want to say that each and every one of you, my name is Lisa, and each and every one of you has inspired me. You've touched my heart. I love hearing from you. I love watching you perform. When you sang your song about Be Present, it's not just your song, that's our song as well. And so you inspire us out here through your music and through your songs, through your dance, through everything that you do. You guys are making a difference. You spoke about it in there about the ripple effect. You're doing it. You've made a difference and inspired everybody in this room. I will speak for them, even though I'm only supposed to speak for myself.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to thank all of our volunteers. You can tell who they are by their clothing, for their time. I want to thank these extraordinary performers who... today is Suraya Keating. So thank you to the CDCR. Thank you so much to the CDCR and San Quentin Prison and all of the staff for allowing us to do this work.